this time I invite all the children to come forward if you would like. And as you come forward, I invite you to be seated and pray with me. I speak to you in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Oh, it's so good to see you all. Come on up. Yeah, do you want to sit right down right up here on the stairs? So you have a good view. Ah, it's good to see you, Jones. Okay. All right, yeah, there we go. There we go. I'll back up a little bit so I can see you all. So happy back to school time, everyone. I guess some of you have been in school for a couple weeks now, haven't you? And in the Quinn house, we just went back to school this week. And as we say goodbye to summer and adjust to new schedules, I don't know about you, but in our house with 4 kids going back to school at once, there are a lot of forms to sign. A lot. I've gotten pretty good at figuring out how to fill them almost all the way out and photocopy them, and it's a lot. One of the forms that we signed was an anti-bullying policy. Do you guys talk about bullies in school at all? Yeah? Yeah? So who knows what a bully is? Yeah. Yep. Anybody else?
They repeatedly are mean to you.
Yep. A bully is someone who needs to make others feel small in order to feel big, right? Yeah. And how do we deal with bullies? How do we deal with bullies? Do we speak up? Do we ask for help? And listen with care. What happens if we try to get even with a bully? Jones? What's that? Yes, we're just as wrong as them, exactly. Everybody gets hurt. Everybody gets hurt. So getting hurt is a part of life, right? Not every injury involves a bully. Everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes injuries are unintended. Sometimes, has this ever happened to you? We get so embarrassed that we have done something wrong that we deny what happened and say, it wasn't wrong. It wasn't me. It's their fault. Or, I didn't mean to hurt you, so how could I have hurt you? I didn't mean to. Has anybody ever said that to you? Yeah, it's hard to hear that, isn't it? It hurts. And speaking up is scary, isn't it? Have you guys ever had to speak up when somebody's not nice to you? Yeah. Is it easy to do that? It is. Good. Good. So sometimes, though, people who speak out are the ones that suffer, right? And then sometimes trying to tell somebody that you're hurt can actually come out hurtfully. That's hard too. Sometimes we're scared to say something because we know we're so upset we don't want to say something we didn't mean. Hurt people hurt people. Have you guys ever heard that before? Hurt people hurt people. The Bible tells us to do everything from a place of love. And God's children are supposed to love each other, and God made us to live in harmony. When we hurt people, we need to talk about it, and Jesus helps us have some tough conversations. Jesus tells us if somebody hurts you, you need to talk to them one-on-one, face-to-face. Why do you think it's important to talk to a person who's hurt you face-to-face? Yeah, it's nice. And Jones? Yes. What's so special about seeing somebody and being able to look at them in the eye? Can you tell that they care about you? And can you tell them that you care about them easier if you look at them? We don't do that as often now with all the screens around us, do we? But it really makes a big difference to see each other eye to eye. So we have some acting to do. And I have a helper here. And we may need another volunteer, but Harry Schmitz is here. And we're going to imagine there are two people playing. And one of them accidentally hit another one. Now, what is supposed to happen? What is supposed to happen, guys? The person who got hit has to do something, right? Yeah, Jones? Yeah, exactly. So the person who got hit has to stand up and say, "Why'd you do that?" "I'm sorry, yeah. So he hugs him. That's the way we want it to work out, right? Yes, but sometimes if the person says that hurt, what can happen? What can happen this time? If you say you're hurt again, you could get mad, but what if he doesn't listen to you? Exactly. So you got to bring some friends with you and say it again, right? Yeah. And what happens if he still doesn't listen? Then you have to take it to the whole community, right? That's what Jesus said. Now, what happens if he still doesn't listen? What happens if he still doesn't listen? He doesn't say sorry. Are you going to keep hanging out with him? Nope. You're going to keep a healthy distance, and why is that? Exactly. Because somebody who can't admit that they've hurt you, even if they didn't mean to, are they being very loving? And are we supposed to love each other? Yeah. So Jesus wants us to have a very simple way of figuring these things out, because guess what, guys? Sometimes it seems simple, but most of the time it's not so simple, and we need help. Having these kinds of conversations is a big challenge, and God knows it's hard. And God wants us to love each other and love ourselves and forgive ourselves when we don't quite do it exactly right. Because when we keep trying, God knows we keep trying. God sees everything. And what about this guy over here? God can work through him too. He can help him. Even if he isn't nice in the first 3 tries, something might work out. He might see the light. Guess what? The guy who wrote the letter we just heard from the Romans, St. Paul, he was like this guy. When he didn't... He was a really big bully before he turned around and became Paul, right? His name was Saul, and he was being mean to a whole lot of people. He wasn't just being mean, he was putting people to death who were claiming to love Jesus. It's big, serious stuff. But God can work through him, and God can work through St. Matthew. Matthew, who wrote the gospel we just heard, he was a tax collector. He was a guy who people knew could be a bully, because tax collectors took advantage of people. God can work through it, but you don't have to sit there and keep on trying if somebody's not being nice. Even Jesus says that. Healthy relationships make healthy communities. And we know about that because here we are in a really wonderful, healthy community. So let's take what we know and go out into the world and keep loving everybody. All right?